before telescopes, before modern astronomy, before we even understood our place in the cosmos. There was Egypt. 5,000 years ago, while most of the world gazed at the stars in wonder, the ancient Egyptians were reading them, mapping them, building monuments so precisely aligned with celestial bodies that even today we struggle to understand how they achieved such accuracy. What did they know? How did they know it? And perhaps most mysteriously, why did the stars matter so much to them? Welcome to a journey through time to uncover the cosmic secrets of ancient Egypt. In the scorching deserts of the Nile Valley, a civilization rose that would change humanity's understanding of time itself. But this wasn't just about survival. The ancient Egyptians didn't simply watch the sky, they studied it with a precision that rivals modern observatories, using instruments called the Merkhet and Bay, essentially an ancient sighting tool with a plumb line. Egyptian priest astronomers could track stars with remarkable accuracy. They divided the night sky into 36 groups of stars, called decans, each rising roughly every 10 days. This wasn't random stargazing. This was systematic science. On coffin lids from over 4,000 years ago, we find intricate star charts, diagonal tables, mapping the movement of celestial bodies throughout the year. These weren't decorations. They were guides, timekeepers, calendars written in starlight. And at the center of it all was one star that changed everything. The Egyptians called it Sopdet. We know it as Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky. Every year, just before dawn in mid-July, Sirius would reappear on the eastern horizon after weeks of invisibility. The Egyptians called this the heliacal rising. And when Sirius rose, the Nile flooded. This wasn't coincidence, it was cosmic clockwork. The flooding brought nutrient-rich silt that made Egyptian civilization possible. No flood, no harvest. No harvest, no Egypt. So they watched Sirius like their lives depended on it. Because they did. They worshipped Sopdet as a goddess, a divine herald of renewal and rebirth. The appearance of this single star marked their new year. It synchronized their entire calendar. It determined when to plant, when to harvest, when to celebrate their most sacred festivals. The Egyptians had discovered something profound. The universe operates on rhythms, patterns. And if you understand those patterns, you can predict the future. Now here's where it gets truly mysterious. The Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the most perfect structures ever built, is aligned to true north with an accuracy of just 1/15 of a single degree. Let that sink in. Without GPS, without computers, without even magnetic compasses. How? The answer lies in the stars they called the immortals, the circumpolar stars that never set below the horizon. By tracking these eternal lights, Egyptian builders could determine true north with breathtaking precision. But the alignment goes deeper. Look at the 3 pyramids of Giza from above. Now, look at Orion's belt, 3 stars in a perfect diagonal line. The match is unmistakable. This wasn't accident. This was intentional. The Egyptians were building a mirror of the heavens on earth. Why Orion? In Egyptian mythology, Orion represented Osiris, god of the afterlife, death, and resurrection. The constellation wasn't just stars to them. It was the kingdom of the dead, the Duat, the realm where pharaohs would journey after death to live among the gods. The Nile River, they believed it was the earthly reflection of the Milky Way itself, the cosmic river across which souls would travel. Even the air shafts inside the pyramids point to specific stars. The southern shaft of the king's chamber aimed directly at Orion's belt. The northern shaft pointed at the circumpolar stars. These weren't tombs, they were launch pads designed to send the pharaoh's soul directly to the stars. While most of the ancient world was still using lunar calendars that drifted out of sync with the seasons, Egypt created something revolutionary: a solar calendar of 365 days, 12 months, 30 days each, plus 5 extra ceremonial days at the end, the epigomenal days. Sound familiar? It should. Our modern calendar is a direct descendant of this Egyptian innovation. But they went even further. The Egyptians ran 3 calendars simultaneously: the civil calendar, a more precise calendar based on Sirius that included the extra quarter day, and a 360-day ceremonial calendar. Every 1,461 years, all 3 calendars would align perfectly. The Egyptians called this the Great Year, a cosmic reset, a time of massive celebration and the beginning of a new age. They had also divided the day and night into 24 hours each. Yes, the 24-hour day we still use today? That's Egypt. Ancient Egypt didn't just observe time. They invented how we measure it. Section 5. The Cosmic Connection, 6:15-7:30. But perhaps the most beautiful mystery of all is the goddess Nut. In Egyptian cosmology, Nut was the sky itself, a goddess whose body arched across the heavens from horizon to horizon, covered in stars. Every evening, she would swallow the sun. Every morning, she would give birth to it anew. The entire solar cycle existed within her divine body. Recent research suggests that the Milky Way, that luminous river of stars stretching across the night sky, may have been how the Egyptians visualized Nut. The galaxy itself was her form, ever-present, eternal, protecting Earth from the waters of chaos that surrounded creation. The Egyptians didn't see the universe as separate from themselves. They saw it as connected, woven into their mythology, their architecture, their daily lives, their very concept of existence. When a pharaoh died, they didn't just bury a body, they performed a transformation. The deceased king would rise to the stars, specifically to the circumpolar stars, the immortals, to rule alongside the gods for eternity. Death wasn't an ending, it was an ascension, a return to the cosmic order from which all life came. 5,000 years later, we stand on the shoulders of these ancient stargazers, their calendars, their understanding of astronomy, their realization that humans are part of something infinitely larger than ourselves. The ancient Egyptians looked up at the same stars we see tonight, but they saw something different. They saw maps, they saw gods, they saw home. And in the silent, perfect alignment of their monuments to the heavens, they left us a message that echoes across millennia. We are not separate from the cosmos. We are the cosmos, looking back at itself. The stars still remember Egypt. The question is, will we? 5,000 years later, we stand on the shoulders of these ancient stargazers, their calendars, their understanding of astronomy, their realization that humans are part of something infinitely larger than ourselves. The ancient Egyptians looked up at the same stars we see tonight, but they saw something different. They saw maps. They saw gods. They saw home. Every pyramid, every temple alignment, every star chart carefully carved into stone. These weren't just monuments to kings, they were messages in stone, encrypted in mathematics and mythology, waiting for future generations to decode. Today, we use satellites and supercomputers to navigate the cosmos. But the Egyptians, they used their eyes, their minds, and an unshakable belief that the heavens held answers to the deepest questions of human existence. They mapped the sky with such precision that modern astronomers still marvel at their accuracy. They built structures so perfectly aligned that we struggle to replicate them even with our advanced technology. And in the silent, perfect alignment of their monuments to the heavens, they left us a message that echoes across millennia. We are not separate from the cosmos. We are the cosmos, looking back at itself. The stars still remember Egypt, and now, so do we.